If you want to run your fastest 5K and you actually want a program that's going to build you up rather than burn you out, then in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to structure an 8-week program so you can recover properly, build yourself up, so you feel absolutely fantastic when it comes to race day. So grab a pen and paper and we'll start to structure out your kind of like the bigger view, the overview of your training plan. So we're going to zoom out a little bit before we zoom in. So we're just going to get a nice little structure going first, and this is going to be your building block to your training plan. So we don't have to complicate this first step. So it's just going to be over an 8-week period. So the first 3 weeks are going to be your building weeks. Then you're going to have a recovery week, and then you're going to have another 3 weeks of building, and then you're going to have your race week as well. So we've got 2 phases there where you're going to be building a nice little recovery, and then we're going to get you into the race week where you recover so you feel really good on that race day as well. So when we look at the first 3 weeks, they're going to be your building weeks. So all you're going to do is capitalize on what you done the week before, i.e. we're just going to up the numbers a little bit more. And then in your recovery week, this is where your body's going to adapt and actually get stronger. So we're going to take the volume down by about 30 to 40%. So for the first bit, if you're doing kind of 20 miles a week, you're going to drop that down to 14 to 12 miles a week. And then if you're doing kind of 4 runs a week, take that down to 3. And if you're doing 5 runs a week, that take that down to 4 to 3 runs a week as well. And then when it comes to taking down the intensity, we're going to take that down by about 20%. So if you're doing kind of 6 intervals, take them down to around about 4 intervals. And if you're doing kind of that 90 seconds in terms of the interval length, then take that down to 60 as well. So we're just reducing it a little bit. So we're just getting a little bit more recovery, but we're still turning over the legs and trying to keep them nice and sharp as well. So a lot of runners normally miss the recovery week, and this is where sort of you start to stagnate a little bit, or you start to get niggles and injuries as well. So definitely add that in there. So once you've done your recovery week, then we're just going to go straight into your building again. So we're going to capitalize on what you've done on week 3, and we're just going to start building from there again. So obviously whatever numbers you was doing, we're just going to increase slightly, and then we're just going to carry on that building phase. And then your race week. So all the hard work's done. We've done all the building, we've done all the hard training. So this one is just about getting the recovery in so you feel fantastic on race day. So you're only going to do 2 runs on this week, and it's just going to be a nice little build up, like a 10-minute warm up. And then you're just going to turn the legs over nice and sharp, like race pace, for around about 15 seconds, a little bit of recovery, then go again. And this is just going to keep your legs nice and sharp and moving properly for race day. And then with the weight sort of sessions, I'll go really light or medium, or don't do any weights at all. I prefer not to. I feel not a bit more sharper. Some people still like to move their body. So if you do weights, then go a little bit lighter and do them at the beginning of the week rather than at the end. So do them on a Monday or a Tuesday. So you've got that nice little bit of recovery, feeling fresh on the day. So that's the overview done. So we're going to go into a little bit more detail now. So there's going to be sort of 3 levels to this. This is the next one. So we're going to look at what you're going to do day to day. So this doesn't have to be too complicated. You don't have to think too much about it. And it depends on the level that you're at and how much effort you're going to be putting into this. I'm going to give you a simple plan of a 3-day run, but if you want to add other recovery runs in, then you can. So Monday, I like to do rather hill reps or speed work. And then on a Tuesday, it's just a nice sort of recovery. So you might just do Pilates or a little bit of strength work or core work, whatever you fancy. And then on the Wednesday, I'd again just take it easy. Thursday, I would do threshold training, heart rate zone 4. And then Friday, I'll probably do some more core work or some strength work. And then Saturday or Sunday, do your long, easy run where you just go out, maybe have a catch up with someone. And then that's your kind of week structured out nicely. So you got, and then in between that, if you're more advanced, you can add recovery runs in, which would be nice and easy at heart rate zone 2. And that adds everything in nicely. So you've got your nice little workouts in there, you've got your strength training, and you've got recovery days as well, which are going to make a big difference when it comes to race day. So we've got a nice little plan together, a nice little structure together now. So we've got our 8-week flow sort of plan. We've got our day to day, what we're going to be doing, and now we want to drop into those days and think about our training plan within those days now as well. So depending where you are is where you're going to be at here. So if you're sort of new to sort of speed work, or if you're more of intermediate or more advanced, then obviously pick one that's going to work for you. So when it comes to intervals and reps, you're looking between 4 to 10. Okay, and then when you're looking at your effort levels as well, so like when you're actually in the interval, you want to keep that nice and short and lengthen that over time. So again, depending where you're at, and then you've got your recovery time as well, so that can be shortened over time as well. So normally start with a shorter effort level and a longer recovery, and then you can start to play around with those numbers. So just pick one of those at any point, and they're going to be the point that you're going to be building at as well, so within your big structure. So once you've done that and you know what you're doing, this can be repeated basically time and time again, this 8-week period. So one, you might want to work on just bringing the intervals up. Then you might do another 8-week period where you want to actually just bring the time of the efforts up with good running form, obviously. And another one where you might just bring your recovery times down. So, but I do find the recovery time can only go so low, because once you start putting in big efforts, you need to be all fresh for that recovery. So yeah, let's play around with those numbers and see what works for you within those structures as well. So just remember, follow this structure. So nudge yourself forward each week, and then they will have some big results when it comes to your race day, and it gives you a big opportunity and a big chance to get that PB that you're after when it comes to your 5K. So yeah, so let me know how you get on. Maybe in the comments, if you haven't already, save this video so you can go through this yourself bit by bit. If you are looking for a program that's already mapped out for you, I will leave a link in the description below. Other than that, go out, enjoy your running, and run strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.